What's going on, everybody? How we doing? Welcome back to the Georgia Math Show. I know, ladies and gentlemen, probably didn't expect me today, but hey, we're here. We're grinding. Like I said, we're gonna go back slowly and be consistent. Do what we gotta do. It is Wednesday, December the 3rd. It is 22 days, you guys, till Christmas. We have 28 days, or 29, I think, till the new year, 2026. That's gonna be crazy. 26 hopefully should be a good year, full of blessings and many positive things. But we got a lot to talk about, you guys. That's why I decided to put out a show for you guys today, because there was a lot of things that happened in the news, all the way from Devin Williams signed to the New York Mets. Also, Alek Manoah to the Los Angeles Angels. We'll talk about that a little bit. I know it's Alek Manoah, but I'll explain a little bit why I'm bringing that up. We'll also talk about Dylan Gabriel. His fiance decided to say a couple things on TikTok and now is in the news, or, on sports, websites, whatever, being talked about. We'll also talk about him, Shador, QB number 1 for the Browns, going up against Cam Ward. That's going to be a good matchup this Sunday. Also, we'll wrap it up with Abdul Carter, the rookie that the Giants just drafted, number 3, has been making some poor decisions. We'll talk about some wrestling a little bit, and I'll be out of y'all's hair. So, let's get started. You guys already know what we always do. Y'all already understand the flow. We got the positive vibes quote. Here is the quote for today, my people. Too many people buy things they don't need with money they don't have to impress people they don't know. Read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So, what is that quote basically saying? There's a lot of people that like to front, especially on social media now. There's a lot of people that like to front just to show off to strangers that they don't even know. Literally, that's what that quote is literally saying. People like to spend money on cars when they don't even have a house. That's crazy to me. It don't add up. But there's people nowadays that would rather go out, get a 2025 SRT Hellcat, Charger, Challenger, Durango, TRX, whatever, instead of having a nice house. Literally, like that's crazy. It don't make any sense. A lot of people would rather have a $5 million car in their driveway with a house that costs $300K. Even though now it's pretty hard, but literally that's the comparison. Instead of doing the opposite, instead of having a house that costs $5 million and a car that is worth $300K, which there's many, you could get probably like a Ferrari, a Lamborghini. You could probably get like a Bentley, a Maserati, many things. But people choose the opposite. It don't make sense. Which is interesting because I saw Odell's thing he was talking about. We're not going to bring that up too much. But I saw one of the things he said to a reporter that it was basically saying it's not easy to have $100 million for a lifetime. That was interesting. A lot of people had a lot of things to say, but we won't speak too much. But that's insane. $100 million. If you use it the right way, you can have that expand forever. You just got to know how to use it. All right, so let's get started with the first topic, my people. Devin Williams to the New York Mets. So I saw this right away, and as soon as I saw this, I wrote it down. I was like, we'll talk about this, we'll speak about it, and we'll do what we got to do. So I think this was, Monday. Yeah, this was Monday around like probably 9:30, 10 p.m. It was reported by, I think it was Jeff Passan, that Devin Williams to the New York Mets. So let's break it down. So the Mets, of course, agreed to terms with reliever Devin Williams on a 3-year, reported worth around $51 million, including a signing bonus and an annual salary. Williams spent the 2025 season with the rival New York Yankees, where he struggled. He posted a career worst 4.79 ERA, losing the closer role multiple times. Prior to his time in New York, of course, Williams spent his 6 seasons with the Milwaukee Brewers, which that's where David Stearns was, where he earned 2 All-Star selections and established himself as a dominant closer. So, couple things, probably a big question a lot of people wonder, what does this mean for the Mets? Obviously, them signing him likely fills that void left by the free agency departure or possible departure of longtime Met, obviously Edwin Diaz. Though there's reports that the Mets still want to sign him. If Diaz returns, Williams can serve as a high leverage setup man. If not, he may reclaim a full time closer role. The move reflects a gamble. Williams obviously had a rough 2025, but his prior history has low ERA, high strikeouts, elite changeup. His airbender pitch suggests he could rebound. Williams was voted the 2020 NL Rookie of the Year and became top reliever with the Brewers across 308 career appearances. Before the 2025 dip, he had 86 career saves with an ERA roughly around 2.41 or 45. So I don't mind this. When I saw it, I genuinely was uh, like I I saw him a little bit with the Yankees, and I saw many times when like the fans were criticizing Michael Kay because like he was set into close and he would wet the bed or the eighth inning and he'd just hit the bed. Um, but I'm a fan of it. I like the span of the contract. I like that it's not like a 5-6 year deal. I like that 3 year deal. Um, Also, if I'm not mistaken, there's no opt outs or no trade clauses, so it's just straight up 3 years, 51 million. It looks like. I'm a fan. I think he'll do a good job. Hopefully, he can bounce back and do well. I'm not surprised that they went out and did this, especially when it was reported that the Mets were interested, just because he was a David Stearns guy. He was with the Brewers. They probably have a good connection. That he decided, hey, you know what? Let's bring him over here, sign him. So it's probably like that buddy buddy type connection with David and Devin. Um, that's going to be the ultimate question, though. Now, if they bring back Diaz, he'll be a setup man, but that'll be the question. How will he do? Is he going to be a Jurius Familia where he's just going to wet the bed and, sell us a lot of games? That's going to be the thing because with the Yankees, he posted up a 4.79 ERA with 62 innings pitched. That is horrible. That is just horrible. Now, to be fair, the year prior to that, he had an ERA of 1.25. But the difference is he pitched only 21 innings. Now, the year before that, he had a 1.53 ERA with 58 innings pitched. So, he's been pretty consistent with Milwaukee. Like his numbers when you really look at it have been very around the same, 1.93 ERA, 1.53, 2.50. I think he'll bounce back and have a good season with the Mets. I think once he gets comfortable and everything, he'll get back to that role. Now, listen, with everything going on, obviously this is a good start to the bullpen. This guy is a good addition. Like I said earlier, career ERA of 2.45, very high strikeout guy, has a WHIP of 1.045. So, listen, he's 31 years old. We'll have him till he's 34. Not a bad contract. You're paying him 16 million, I believe it is. Let me see, 51. Let me see, 51 divided by 3. So you're paying essentially 17 million a year for him. So, not too bad. It's decent. Hopefully, it could pan out a really good pivot. I think he'll do well. I think he will do well. I think he was gonna do good. Hopefully he bounces back and gets back into that Milwaukee Brewers form. Now with Edwin Diaz, obviously this is what everybody's wondering. Edwin Diaz, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna sign him back? Listen, I would want the Mets to bring him back. Now I'm not gonna, like, oh my God, kill, oh we need to bring. I'm dying for Diaz. No, but obviously I want him to come back. He's 31 years old. He did well. He had a phenomenal year with the Mets. He posted up a 1.63 ERA with a WHIP of 0.874. So, he did great this year. He won the Reliever of the Year award. But to me, it's just like I don't feel comfortable with paying a closer 25 million plus. Like that deal that Josh Hader has with the Astros. I'm trying to see like it's just so he's getting paid 95 million for a length of 5 years. So basically making 19 million a year. I I know Diaz wants probably more than that. He probably wants to have the highest paid, thing like he was before. But I don't feel like it's necessary, to pay that much. Now, like I said, he had a good year. He did well. He had a bounce back year. 2024 was a bit rough. He posted up a 3.52 ERA, but he was coming back from injury, a big one. He's posted up, did well. The ultimate question is, do you want to give that contract that he would probably want? Because he's gonna want probably more than 3 years than what he's gonna want more than what Devin Williams got. I'm gonna just keep it like that. So that's gonna be the ultimate question: is like, do you want to pay that much to a closer, or do you want to use that money to maybe go out, get more relievers, and go spend it maybe on a first baseman, maybe on an outfielder, maybe in a DH role? That'd be the question. I said it before and I'll say it again. I'm not going too crazy over Edwin Diaz. I just don't feel like it's necessary to pay that much for a closer. Especially I know the money he's gonna want. But overall, with Devin Williams to the Mets, like I said, not a bad deal. Big fan of it. I'm rocking with it. Let's see how he does. I think he'll bounce back. He'll do good. Hopefully, we'll see how they do. If he'll be a setup man or he'll be a closer. All right, shifting a little bit. So let's discuss Mr. Alek Manoah. You guys is going to the Los Angeles Angels. Now I know many people probably like, who is this? Who is that? Listen, Alek Manoah has been a bit of a struggle for the last couple of years. As you know, he was a prospect for Toronto, and he had I gotta tell you, there was one year where he went off. I think it was 2022. He went off. He had a ERA of 2.224, and he was going crazy that year. He did well, pitched 196 innings, had 180 strikeouts with a win-loss record of 16 and 7, and a WHIP of 0.992. You guys, he did phenomenal. One-time All-Star so far, but so. Let's discuss. So he got signed by the Los Angeles Angels for a $1.95 million contract. He was previously with the Braves. He looks like he got non-tendered because of a rush stretch and performance and injury. So obviously he's coming back after he looks like he had elbow surgery. Like I said, he broke out in 2022, finished third in Cy Young. So this is a guy that had potential to be a Cy Young winner. Now, what's been going on? After 2024, he had a Tommy John surgery, which sidelined his whole, rest of the season. 2025, he rehabbed, have minor league appearances, but the Braves never called him up. So the Angels decided to give a gamble. Now, what's likely? He's most likely to be guaranteed a rotation spot. It's going to probably be like a low risk, high reward type thing. He should return healthy, should be good. Listen, the Angels, I don't know what they be doing in that front office, but it's very interesting because, like, that team, sadly, Mike Trout will never, ever, ever see the postseason and go to the World Series. I'm sorry. Because that front office, that GM, whatever they got going on is just a mess. They give out contracts left and right. They pay people, but they pay the wrong people. That's the problem. Think about it. A couple years ago, you gave Anthony Rendon a huge contract. That's turned out to be horseshit. You gave Albert Pujols a contract which was, at the time, maybe understandable, but paid out horribly. You got Trout with a huge contract, has been getting hurt, hasn't been able to stay on the field that much. So it's just, it sucks. You lost Ohtani, went to, cross town to the Dodgers. It's just the front office is a mess. Now, can he bounce back? We'll see. We'll see what happens. He has a career ERA of 3.34. He has a WAR of 7.3. So it's not like we're talking about some like scrub. It's just he hasn't been able to perform. Now he is young. He's only 27. So maybe if he gets an opportunity, especially probably be like their number 4 or 5. I think he could do well. Bounce back, have a good season, maybe put your name out there again. We just got to wait and see. Now, one thing, again, with my team, the Mets, ladies and gentlemen. So it is reported that the Mets are in the mix for Kyle Schwarber. I saw this and I liked it. There is obviously other clubs trying to sign him though, but I saw it and I was like, damn, okay. Um, Me personally, I am a fan of Kyle Schwarber. I think if the Mets bring him back or bring him to the team, that would be phenomenal. Great bat to add in the lineup. Schwarber had a monster season. He hit 56 home runs with a career high, which was a career high. Drove in 102 RBIs, finishing with a 240 average, 365, and a slugging of 563 slash line. He also became one of the rare MLB players to hit 4 home runs in a single game against the Braves on August 28th. So the dude's a beast, you guys. This dude has been a monster with the power. More power in the lineup would be phenomenal for the Mets. You know, that would be great to add. But why are the Mets talking to him? Many people will probably ask. The interest makes sense. The Mets, we're lacking right now in consistent, dominant left-handed power bats. Especially this changes this offseason. Certain uncertainty with first base, cornerback situation. We technically have left field, open right now. We have nobody in left field because we got rid of Brandon Nimmo. Um, Scott, a scout, quarterly recently said Schwarber would solve a lot of the Mets' problems, implying his black could be a big boost for New York. So Schwarber could fit heavy, of course, for the Mets. Listen, how could I tell you? I would love the Mets to bring him. That would be a huge takeaway from Philly. Now, obviously, do you want to pay that much to a 32-year-old DH? Because obviously that's going to be the issue. He's only going to be able to play DH. He's not going to be one of those that you're going to want to put every day in left field or in the outfield. Um, so, listen, this dude's a beast. I say Mets, go out and sign him. This would be a great addition. Go out and sign him. Get him behind probably Juan Soto. That would be a perfect fit. This dude is literally finished second in MVP votings. That would be awesome. 3-time All-Star, Silver Slugger, MVP. Dude is out of this world good hitter. Like I said, this season had 56 home runs, batting average of 240, 132 RBIs, OPS of 928 with an OPS plus of 150, ladies and gentlemen. This dude's a beast. He's projected to have 40 home runs, 98 RBIs with an OPS of 853 and a slugging 501, on base is 352, and a batting average of 231. So they're projecting his numbers to go down a little bit. But you guys, this man has been pretty consistent with the Phillies. He had, in the 2024 season, 38 home runs with 104 RBIs. The year before that, 47 home runs with 104 RBIs again. Batting average of, in 2024, 248. Slugging 485. OPS of 851. And an OPS plus of 134. So, listen, Mets. I say go out and get this guy. To my knowledge, currently we don't have a DH person in that DH role. Let's go out and get him. This would be a good power bat, especially put behind Juan Soto. Oh my God, that would be great because it's like think about it. You would be adding that pressure to that pitcher. Literally, Juan Soto's either gonna get on base, strike out, walk. So you're gonna already have one on first. And then you get Kyle Schwarber coming up. Oh my God, 2 lefties back to back. That would be nasty. And then possibly you bring back Pete too. That would be crazy lineup. Good takeaway from the Phillies too. Like I said, we need to take advantage that these players are out there. We need to go out, get power, because I'm telling you, this upcoming year we cannot be on that nonsense that we didn't make the postseason again, like how we did this year. Because this is embarrassing. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, so let's switch on to a different sport here. Let's talk about some football, ladies and gentlemen. So like I said, Browns and Titans go head to head this week, and it's gonna be fun because we got Shador Sanders going up against Cam Ward, the two that we're discussing about of who in the world was going first. And obviously we saw what ended up happening, etc. But it's gonna be fun. Now, I think the Browns are gonna win. Trust me, I've been seeing a lot of these Titan games, and they are horrible. They are hot garbage. Literally, they currently have a record of 1-11. They're last in the AFC South. Offensively, they are struggling mightily, averaging only 15.2 points per game, placing them in the bottom of the league. Their defense hasn't been much better either. They've given up 27.5 points per game. But what's going on? The offense has lacked consistently. They struggle to sustain drives, obtain turning the ball over, or punting without scoring. They've lost 11 straight home games, including multiple recent losses at their home stadium. And then also coaching instability has been an issue. The team has fired their head coach Brian after a poor start, and their interim coach Mike hasn't been able to turn things around. They can't. And then just Cam, I don't know what's going on. They can't establish a run game and then driving it down the field. That's the problem. They do get a lot of turnovers, and it's not good. Now with the Browns, I say the Browns are gonna win. Why? Because I like their performance overall a little bit better. Obviously they're not anything better though too much. They're 3-9 currently in their division. They sit in fourth in the AFC North. Offensively they struggled. They average 16.9 points per game, which ranks them amongst the bottom in the league. Defensively, that's been a large stretch. Their defense allows 22.2 points per game, which is somewhat better than the offensive output. But what's the problem? The offense is inconsistent, also often unproduced, poor scoring, lack of sustainable drive, similar to the Titans, and difficult putting points on the board. Their overall performance, reflective to expectations, is below par. Um, they're not competitive enough in many games, particularly because the offense can't keep up, forcing the defense to cover more and more often. So I say the Browns are going to win just because I like their chances a little bit more. I like their weapons. I think Shador is going to come out and do well, especially with that Titans defense that's not too good. I like the defense of the Browns a little bit. I wonder who the hell is going to stop Myles Garrett because that offensive line of the Titans is so-so. Um, I really want to see what they're gonna do. Um, I would like to, I would like to say it's gonna be a close game, but it could eventually be a blowout. Whoever gets a rhythm. But I'm going with the Browns. I think the Browns are gonna win it and continue. They'll be 4-9, and then the Titans will be 1-12. Continuing on with the Browns, a little bit. So obviously, there's been a topic of one of the players' fiance, that being the former QB1 Dylan Gabriel's fiance. You guys has been recently in the spotlight, like I said at the beginning of the show. So let's talk about it. What's going on? So after one of Gabriel's 2025 games where he didn't start, his fiance publicly commented on social media suggesting that everyone in the building wants him to play. That sparked reactions from fans, obviously, and other critics. She missed attending his first NFL start in London because she was working at the time, though she expressed support for him, all that stuff. So, the the comments that she made. So, despite the on-field drama around the quarterback rotation, it seems like she continues to support him publicly, etc. So, this was the recent discussions, I guess, comments that she made when they lost to the 49ers. So, Browns lost. What's new? Caswell, I guess that's his fiance, captioned on her TikTok video after Cleveland lost 26-8. A game started by Shador and not by her future hubby. What the heck? I don't remember seeing these captions when. That's what people said. I don't remember these captions when your man was QB1. Love you and your content, but very disappointed in this caption. Need to support the team whether he's in it or not. Zoe tried to best to steam the criticism on commenting that doesn't look like it's been working out. So basically, she said Browns lost, what's new? And then also said that everybody in the building wants him to play. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now. Listen, obviously Gabriel wants to play. We know everybody and his mamas knows that he wants to play. But it's not his turn. It's as simple as that. It's not his turn. I've like I said, many times before, I personally feel like this Browns offense looks better with Shador than it does with Dylan. That's like I said, I get it. Dylan has 3 wins or 2 wins under his belt, but Shador just started. He played a good 49ers team, but overall, that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing to say, because you look like obviously you look like you're throwing shots. By saying Browns lost. What's new? It doesn't make you look like a fan of the team. It makes you look like a hater. And obviously we know, that bullshit everybody in the building wants him to play. Obviously we know that. I really don't understand why the Browns drafted Shador Sanders if the owner of the team really didn't want him. Because it's like, it just doesn't make sense. The only person that drafted him, I think it was the front office GM. I forgot his name, but that's the only person that was interested in Shador. Kevin wasn't interested. The owner wasn't interested. Why would you go out and get him then? Because it's like, it sits icky on the team. It feels icky. It doesn't feel like cool. It feels very biased and just something going on there that they're not going to comment publicly. So then, like, that's the bad part with the Browns. That if I'm the owner, I got to be like, hey, we got to cut this bullshit out. Because it's like every time my team's, trending, it's on some BS. Either about my QBs or my QB's fiance. But you can't go out and do this stuff, Think about it. 49ers lost many times. You didn't see Christian McCaffrey's wife, whatever it is, go out and say something. You don't see Justin Herbert, his girl, whatever, going out. You can't do that stuff. And then you say that everybody in the building wants him to play. That makes it look like they don't like Shador, that they're just having him in there just to have him in now for the critics, so people don't go crazy on him. So I personally don't understand, why would you guys draft him then? It don't make sense to me. Why would you draft him? Like, it don't add up to me at all. The math ain't mathing, to be honest. To be honest, like, it just don't make sense. But enough of that. Let's move on. So I don't know what's going on with these young players, you guys, that they have such a big opportunity, such a big spotlight, such a big blessing, that it's like they just don't understand how much of a blessing they have, because it doesn't make sense. Kenyon Coleman from the Bills was one guy. Now it's, this rookie from the Giants. So Abdul Carter was benched on Monday when the Giants were playing the Patriots. Marks the second time in 3 games he's been benched. The official reason is because of missing a violation of team rules / missing a team responsibility. Reportedly, he was late and missed a required activity. When he was asked afterwards, he said he admitted it. He said, "I let my team down, promising to do better." On the field, once he was put in, he managed to record his first NFL sack, but overall his production remains modest compared to expectations from the top pick edge rusher. So here's the thing. It's just, he's been benched many times. It looks like concerns of maturity, professionalism, all that stuff. So I just I'm trying to understand. You have such a big opportunity. Like, you're in the NFL, where there's millions of people that that are grinding their ass off every year to make it. And you get that opportunity, and it's like, you don't take it. You take it for granted, and then you do stupid shit. Because it's like, bro, why are people showing up late? Like, that's the thing that I saw with the Bills that happened, where Keon Coleman didn't even make it to the team practice or team meeting. What the hell are y'all doing? Like, this isn't like an all-day thing that's going to occupy your whole day and you won't have shit to do. It's just 1 hour or some shit. But, like, what are we doing? You got such a big opportunity and you sell it by doing stupid shit. Why are you showing? And that's what I don't understand. Why do people like showing up late so much? It's not hard to show up early. It's not hard to get up and get ready early. What the hell are we doing? And then you missed a required activity. If it says required, you're a part of the team. What the hell are you doing not showing up to do it? And then professionalism, because it was reported that it was other stuff, but we're not going to go into that. Bro, like, this is your first year, and you've gotten benched 2 out of the 3 games already. You've been benched. You got to do better. You can't be doing shit like this, and especially in the market that you're in. You're not with the Raiders or with the Green Bay Packers or the Pittsburgh Steelers. You're with the New York Giants, where you got to understand that team is going to eat you alive. They are those reporters and everything, they're going to eat you alive. So you can't be doing nonsense like this. And it's like, especially against the Patriots, a team that's been doing well this season. You got to contribute. They want you out there because they have high expectations. That's why they drafted you 3rd. But you're doing dumb shit. Dumb shit. So their concerns is maturity, professionalism. What are you doing? Like, what are we doing, dude? This is crazy to me. How old is Abdul Carter? Let me see, how old is he? He's 22 years old. Come on, Abdul. You're an adult, man. You got to do better, bro. You got to do better, man. Cuz you understand the level of things that you got going on, dude, around you. The level of fame that you got around you. Can't be doing shit like this, especially in the market that you're playing in. And then that's the thing, they're using it as it's a recurring theme, so it looks like you're doing this a lot. Dude, you got to do better, man. Lock in. You got a huge opportunity on you. Lock in. You got a lot of money coming in, a lot of potential, a lot of deals going to be happening with you. You're in a big market. You can't be doing nonsense like this because they're just going to trade you. They're going to trade you and move on. You can't be doing stuff like this. If they've benched you, you really haven't made an impact. And it's your first year. You can't be missing stuff that's required. Activities that are required. So that looks like practice. You can't be doing stuff like that. Now he's going to learn. He'll bounce back from it and he'll do good. And if he doesn't, they're just going to let his ass go and trade him somewhere. That's what's probably going to happen. But you got to lock in, dude. Because you got a big opportunity. You're in a big market. Nonsense like this, they're not going to tolerate. All right. Last topic for today, ladies and gentlemen. So it was announced by Paul Heyman. Braun Breaker will go one-on-one with CM Punk on January 5th. Great promo by Braun, by the way. Awesome promo. He did well. Now, obviously, that changes the dynamic for WrestleMania because I personally thought we were gonna get Braun versus Punk at WrestleMania. It was reported, but they decided to pivot, go for Raw. That's going to be very interesting. January 5th, start of a new year. Maybe they decide to give the championship to Braun. Who do you have him face, though? That's going to be the ultimate question. Who do you have him face at WrestleMania? And what do you do with CM Punk? Because it's like, do you have CM Punk beat him and have Braun lose all that momentum? Or you have Braun become the star, but then it's like, what do you do with CM Punk? In terms of who you're going to have him face at WrestleMania. What are you going to do with him at Royal Rumble? That's going to be a question. But listen, that was a great promo by Braun. I will be honest, one of the best that I've seen in a while from him. He looked very intense. I think eventually, knowing Triple H and everybody, they're going to want him to slow down the rhythm of his matches, the promos. They want him to slow down because I think he's too fast to sometimes where he messes up. So I think eventually they're going to want him to slow down, something smooth, especially when he comes a top star. Have him keep going, but he's growing, though. He's growing. He's learning the game. He's with Paul Heyman, who is a legend in the game. The dude understands every little aspect of it. So love it. Love everything I saw. Um, Great promo by Braun. We'll see what happens. I'm really interested. That will be fun. But I hope you guys enjoyed this show. Like I said, or like I say every single time, stay blessed, stay humble, stay positive. See you guys later. Peace.